Hi, I'm Corey Davis. This is Corbin Corrections, a video series where we talk about little issues we have with exercises in the weight room and how to fix them. Today's episode is on exercises we don't want baseball and softball players to do and our replacement for them. So baseball and softball, and really any sport where you're throwing a lot, is one of the most taxing things you can do to your shoulder. There's nothing more destructive to the human shoulder than throwing something as hard as you can. So with that in mind, we really want to protect that shoulder when we're in the weight room. So we're going to try to keep it out of that tough externally rotated position when we're doing exercises. The bench press is one where a traditional barbell bench press is something we're going to avoid in 99% of cases when we're dealing with one of those athletes. Instead of doing the typical barbell bench press, we're either going to use a partial range of motion exercise or an exercise with a neutral grip. So one really popular option that we go with a lot in the gym is a Swiss bar bench press or a football bar bench press, which allows the athlete to grab the bar in a neutral grip position. They're not pronated right here, which is a little bit more stressful on the shoulder. They're in that neutral grip position, which allows us to use a full range of motion on that horizontal press variation that we're choosing. Another thing we'll do is a partial range of motion exercise of some sort. So like a floor press or a board press is a good option there. And if it's someone whose shoulder we're really concerned about, maybe it's a pitcher who is in mid-season, who's already getting a lot of throwing volume, and we really want to back off as much as possible, we still want to get some sort of training in, well, at that point we'll do both. We'll do a neutral grip position with a partial range of motion, so a Swiss bar board press or a Swiss bar floor press, or a neutral grip floor press, so that we have that partial range of motion and a more natural shoulder position for the athlete. So another modification that a lot of people don't think to make is for lower body training. When you have someone doing a barbell back squat, that externally rotated position you're putting the athlete in can be really stressful for an athlete who's already throwing a lot. So you bring them in here on a lower body day and you are trying to avoid upper body stress, but then you're stressing them out a ton by having them get underneath the bar in that tight externally rotated position. So a big modification that we'll make with a throwing athlete is we'll avoid a traditional barbell back squat, and instead we'll replace it with either a front squat, a safety bar squat, or a Duffalo bar squat, which would allow a much easier position for the shoulder in any of those three exercises. Another big modification we're going to make to somebody's upper body training is we're going to avoid a traditional pull-up with an overhand grip or a pronated grip right here. And instead we're going to replace it with an underhand grip, or really primarily a lot of neutral grip stuff. So we're going to put an athlete on our neutral grip bars, our neutral grip fat bar. We'll put an athlete on these little baseball handles we have, or we'll have an athlete do a regular underhand grip. But we're going to avoid that overhand grip on a pull-up as much as possible because we don't want to stress out that shoulder any more than we have to. So those are just a few of the modifications we can make to the program for a throwing athlete. It is a lot smarter to think about athletes coming in as a whole being, that they are doing a lot of things outside of the gym that we're not monitoring. So if I know someone's throwing a lot, there's major changes we're gonna have to make to their program. It doesn't mean you can't squat, it just means you need to squat the right way. It doesn't mean you can't bench press, it just means you need to bench press the right way. It doesn't mean you can't do a pull-up, it just means you need to do it the right way, where you're keeping in mind the other stresses that are already being placed on that shoulder. Good luck, make these changes, and you will see a much better program for your baseball and softball players.
Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, competitions, and workouts from Corbin.
It's all recording, so.
Perfect.